Thank you, Lascian Corla. As I know you'll appreciate, one of the strongest elements of our Irish democracy is the energy and commitment of our community and our activist groups. These are ordinary citizens who band together to enter into debate, to bring attention to injustice, to lift up their voices. And I personally have had very positive experiences with these groups and these people, even when we disagree. That's why I'm so disheartened to see a shadow cast over this community over the last few weeks. As you're no doubt aware, there's been a lot of public discourse around defamation, and indeed I welcome the government's commitment to legislate for SLAPPs in the coming months. SLAPPs, or strategic lawsuits against public participation, are meritless or vexatious lawsuits taken by powerful individuals or organisations against weaker parties who express an opinion or convey information on a public matter that is perceived as unfavourable or uncomfortable to the powerful. However, I have been made aware of a further unseen layer of this activity that would not and could not be impacted by the proposed legislation right now. While SLAPP legislation will address initiated legal action, often on defamation, it cannot, or as far as I understand, it will not cover those actions prior to that and their interaction with non-disclosure agreements. What I am describing is the process whereby a person or an entity instructs their legal representative to write a letter threatening legal action, sometimes demanding an apology, sometimes, usually, some financial restitution, and increasingly and more worryingly, the signing of an NDA without any court of law being troubled at any time. The Coalition Against SLAPPs in Europe is tracking cases like this and would welcome hearing from anyone impacted, as would I. For example, a columnist in one of our national newspapers, Mr David Quinn, has threatened legal action against a member of a group advocating for safe access zones for women accessing abortions, not only asking for money and an apology, but also for the signing of an NDA. Mr Quinn has targeted this group in his columns before, and his opinions cannot be reasonably disentangled from his employer, the Iona Institute. This is relevant because we know foreign money is flooding into Ireland right now, as in other European countries, to stoke discord. In 2021, the European Parliamentary Forum published a report called The Tip of the Iceberg. That report outlines the Iona Institute's interaction with funds from w.r.t. This foundation bankrolls activity against what they describe as new or secular rights, like reproductive rights, like marriage equality, like trans rights. The possible involvement of the Iona Institute here is relevant because in its 2020 financial statements it shows that it does not incur legal expenses. Now, if its director enjoys the same luxury, then there could be a great many activists in Ireland and a great many groups that have received similar letters from Mr Quinn. But of course we'll never know that, and the government will never know that, because the NDAs are in place and it'll never get to court. I would ask that any review of the Defamation Act 2009, any SLAPP legislation and any legislation in this area at all would look at what additional protections can be put in place for activists and for groups in the pre-court phase of this type of activity.